My name is Ketchum, and today I will debate most powerful Pokémon with 20 Pokémon Masters. My first claim is that everyone thinks Mewtwo dominates because it was engineered to be perfect. But I have seen imperfect Pokémon with perfect trainers beat perfect Pokémon with careless trainers. Mewtwo is overrated.
You claim trainer matters more than Pokémon strength. But Mewtwo beats trainer skill. A careless trainer with Mewtwo still has the highest stats in existence. Stats do not disappear because the trainer is careless. A careless trainer throws Mewtwo at an opponent. Mewtwo wins through raw superiority. But you want to know what is actually strongest? Not Mewtwo. Alakazam! Alakazam has higher special attack than Mewtwo. Higher speed than Mewtwo. A Mewtwo with perfect trainer still loses to Alakazam with equal trainer because Alakazam is mathematically superior in the stats that matter.
You pick Alakazam over Mewtwo based on stat numbers. But I faced an Alakazam trainer once. Alakazam had perfect speed, perfect special attack. But it was predictable. It used psychic moves because that is what Alakazam does. My Pikachu adapted, changed tactics. Alakazam could not adjust because the trainer was locked into stat strategy. You say stats determine winners, but unpredictability determines winners. A Pokémon can have perfect stats and still lose if the opponent is unpredictable.
Alakazam reads opponent's strategy before it happens. That is not predictable. That is prescient. Alakazam's special attack hits so hard that adaptation does not matter. The battle ends before you can execute Plan B. A Pikachu cannot survive a psychic hit from Alakazam with perfect special attack. The numbers say clearly that Alakazam eliminates your counter strategy through pure damage output.
Alakazam's psychic is strong, but Pikachu has electric speed. Thunder happens before psychic lands. Type advantage and speed matter more than pure stat comparison. Your Alakazam loses to any fast electric type. That is not complicated. That is basic type matchup. You keep talking about stats like they are the whole battle. They are not. Matchups are. Strategy is. The strongest Pokémon is the one with no bad matchups. My next claim is that Dragon-type Pokémon seem unbeatable because dragons resist most attacks. But I have seen trainers use ice moves and watch dragons shatter like glass. A type selection doesn't paint the full picture.
You describe dragons as weak to ice. That is one weakness among many resistances. A trained dragon avoids ice moves, positions correctly, does not take hits from unfavorable types. You assume the dragon is careless. A well-trained dragon is not. Dragon moves hit nearly everything super effectively. Dragon defenses tank most hits. One ice weakness does not negate that dominance. But if you want to know what is actually strongest, it is not regular dragons. It is Gyarados, water and flying typing combined. Gyarados has no weakness that matters in practice. Resists fighting, resists bug, resists water. Electric type is weakness, but Gyarados learns Earthquake. Gyarados overcomes its weakness through versatility that no dragon can match.
Gyarados has water flying typing. That typing has the same weakness as dragons. Electric type. One bolt and Gyarados is paralyzed. You say Gyarados has no weakness that matters. But if electric is in the environment, Gyarados matters. And every competitive trainer carries electric type. Misty trained with water types her whole life and taught me their weakness. Electric. Gyarados is water. Gyarados loses to electric. There is no versatility that covers electric weakness when electric is common.
Electric paralysis is a status effect, not a type advantage. Gyarados still resists electric damage from neutral standpoint. Even paralyzed, Gyarados can move, can counterattack. Waterfall hits electric types super effectively. Paralysis is a problem, but not a death sentence. A trained Gyarados beats trained electric types, because water beats electric in direct matchup. You are confusing mechanics with reality.
Waterfall hits electric for super effective damage. True, but Pikachu is faster than Gyarados. Thunder happens first. Gyarados gets paralyzed, then Waterfall is too slow. Pikachu attacks again before Gyarados moves. That is how speed advantage works with paralysis. Your typing advantage does not matter if speed kills you first. The fastest Pokémon wins. That is the actual rule, not type advantages. Speed. My next claim is that legendaries get picked first in every conversation. The assumption is automatic. But what if a Pokémon's legend is just hype because actual battles tell a different story?
Legendaries are picked because they are provably strongest. Dialga controls time itself. That is not hype. That is recorded fact. Dialga does not have to be trained the way regular Pokémon are trained. It simply exists with power that transcends normal battle. You beat Articuno once. But Articuno was not fighting at full power. A legendary can suppress its own power. When a legendary fights without suppression, trainer battle cannot contain the outcome. But if legendaries are hype, then what is strongest? Garchomp. A pseudo-legendary with actual trainer bond possible. A dragon ground type that can be trained by humans. Garchomp achieves legendary level stats through training while remaining bound to trainer will. That makes it stronger than actual legendaries in battle.
You say Garchomp has legendary level stats through training, but Garchomp does not have legendary stats. Garchomp has high stats. That is different. And you say legendaries fight with suppressed power. That means legendary power is inaccessible in battle. That means legendary Pokémon are not strongest in battle. They are strongest outside battle. But strongest Pokémon must be strongest in battle, or the ranking is meaningless. Garchomp is stronger in actual battle because Garchomp can be trained to fight without limits.
Legendaries do not suppress in championship battles. Garchomp has high stats but not legendary stats. There is measurable difference. My Garchomp has beaten trained legendaries before. That happened because of trainer bond. But a legendary that bonds with trainer becomes unbeatable. The strongest Pokémon is a legendary with proper trainer bond. Not Garchomp, a bonded legendary. Garchomp is strong, but bonded legendary transcends strength, becomes something beyond measurement.
You describe bonded legendary as beyond measurement. That is romantic, but battle needs measurement. Garchomp can be measured, trained, improved. A bonded legendary cannot improve because it is already perfect. That perfection is limitation. My Pikachu improves every battle, gets stronger, adapts. A legendary cannot improve because where would it improve to? A Pokémon that cannot improve cannot win against Pokémon that keep improving. That is why trained Pokémon eventually beat bonded legendaries. My next claim is that comparing Pokémon through base stats is popular because numbers are simple, but battles are not played on spreadsheets. They happen in arenas where unpredictable moments decide outcomes. This uncertainty is a law of nature.
Stats tell the story of what a Pokémon can do physically. A Pokémon with high attack can hit harder. That is not spreadsheet theory, that is physics. In real arena, physics still applies. A heavy rock hitting you is heavy regardless of where the hit happens. Base stats are predictions and predictions come true, but stats are only part of strength. Willpower determines if a Pokémon keeps fighting after base stats say it should lose. The strongest Pokémon is not the one with highest stats. It is the one with unbreakable will. Onix sounds weak because base stats are low, but Onix has fought opponents twice its size and won through refusal to break. That will is actual power that stats cannot measure.
I agree completely. But then why are you comparing stats in first place? You just proved your own argument wrong. If willpower is actual power, then stats are not what determines strongest. A weak Pokémon with strong will beats strong Pokémon with weak will. That is exactly what I said. Battles are not spreadsheets. Willpower decides, not numbers.
Willpower without durability means the Pokémon faints before will matters. Onix has low base stats but thick skin. That skin keeps Onix in battle long enough for will to take effect. A Pokémon with low will and low stats faints immediately, so stats are not everything, but they are something. The strongest Pokémon is Onix because Onix has perfect durability stat combined with unbreakable will. That combination exists nowhere else.
Onix has thick skin defense.
True.
But Onix faints to water moves super effectively. One water and Onix is gone. Defense stat does not matter if opponent has type advantage. That is what you keep missing. Pokemon's strength is not about individual stats, it is about the matchup, the strategy, the unpredictable moment. Onix is strong until water arrives, then Onix is not strongest anymore. A truly strong Pokemon is strong against everything, not just in spreadsheet, in actual battle against actual opposition. My next claim is that the metagame constantly shifts what Pokemon are strongest. This year dragons dominate, next year electric rises. A truly powerful Pokemon should transcend these cycles instead of depending on them.
Meta shifts happen because new trainers develop new strategies. New Pokemon become available. Legendaries are discovered. The strongest Pokemon in one era is strongest because it dominates that era's threats. Charizard dominates the early metagame. Alakazam dominates special attack metagame. Dragonite dominates mid-tier metagame. But none transcend meta. None stay strongest forever. Because meta is about what matters now. If a Pokemon is strongest, it is strongest because the current environment makes it strongest. That is how strength works. But the Pokemon that transcends all meta is one that has no weaknesses. Ditto. Ditto copies opponent's Pokemon exactly. Cannot lose to type advantage because it becomes the type. That is true strength. Adaptation beyond adaptation.
Ditto copies but does not improve. A copied Pokemon has same stats as original. If Ditto copies Alakazam, Ditto has Alakazam stats, but Ditto is not Alakazam trained. The trainer has no bond with the copied form. Ditto loses because it fights with no strategy, no trainer bond, no adaptation. Ditto is strongest only until opponent expects Ditto. Then opponent avoids Ditto weakness, and Ditto becomes average.
Ditto becomes opponent's Pokemon exactly. If bond matters, then Ditto has opponent's bond with Ditto. Ditto's trainer bond with Ditto plus copied stats equals copied Pokemon with trainer bond. That is stronger than original because Ditto has 2 bonds. The original has 1. Ditto is strongest because Ditto is adaptable beyond any single Pokemon. Ditto is always strongest because Ditto is whoever strongest is.
Ditto's trainer does not have bond with the copied form. Bond is between trainer and specific Pokemon. When Ditto copies Alakazam, the bond is broken. Ditto becomes Alakazam in form only. No trainer understands how this specific Alakazam copy works. So trainer bond fails. That is why Ditto is not strongest. Strongest Pokemon is the one that trainer understands completely. Knows every move, every tendency, every strength and weakness. That bond creates power that copying cannot replicate. My Pikachu and I have that bond. That is why Pikachu wins battles Ditto cannot.